Hi there, welcome to today's session. This is an orientation session for the Good Food Network. My name is Lucas Simmons, and I am the gal behind the content in the Good Food Network. The way I built this originally was for clients to continue the work after we wrapped up our one-on-one calls. For anybody who wanted to check in and kind of some frequent reminders to dive back into thinking about their health or putting together solutions to help them feel better and address what it is that's driving their symptoms. And the one piece that is common to everybody, I've been saying for a long time, it is inflammation. Then I moved on to say, well, I think it was the stress response. Then I talked about the burden of stress. Then I realized it was probably actually blood sugar balancing issues. And now I realize we're back to where we started, back at the stress equation. And if stress is triggering your symptoms, you're in the right place. That's all I'm going to say. Whether you are a former client, current client, or somebody who's thought about becoming a client, this session is for you. It's also set up as the orientation session to welcome you to a new topic here in the Good Food Network. This is the first live session of the month. We do an orientation session on the first day of the month, always, to give you a bit of a sneak peek or a look ahead to what it is we're doing inside the network. So, big thank you to you for joining me today. I'm a holistic nutrition practitioner. I am an Clinical Excellence Award winner at the Canadian Holistic Nutrition Conference of 2 years ago. I'm also one half of Histamine Haven, and I do my own thing here at Good Food and You. And everything that we're talking about today in the Good Food Network is linked to one very specific topic this month. We are talking about the adrenals. And not just in a general way, but very specifically about how the adrenals play a role in the burden of stress through your metabolism and how much they're involved in driving your symptoms potentially. Are they actually driving your symptoms? Indirectly, do they want to drive the symptoms? Only to get your attention, pal. So I'm here to help you decipher the codes. Let's have a sip of tea, shall we? No, I'm not in San Francisco. I just have a very boring gray wall behind me. This is way sexier to look at. Okay, listen, you've probably been learning. I'm sure if you're here, you do lots of reading, lots of researching, trying to piece things together to help put together what it is that you can do to help yourself feel better and to address whatever it is that's driving your symptoms. Whether that's autoimmune, chronic health conditions, histamine or mast cells, or perimenopause or osteoporosis or mental health issues. These are all people I serve. And you're also very much the person where I shouldn't laugh, but it becomes a little bit of a trope where you are the person that goes to the doctor and they order tests and your tests come back and your tests look fine, but you don't feel fine. You feel anything but fine, as a matter of fact. You might have energy troubles where it is inconsistent and your capacity is not what it used to be over the course of the day. Your sleep might be off. Many of my clients report this. Getting to sleep is tricky. Waking up many times in the night is a daily occurrence for some. Others are talking about having to get up to pee. I get the question of like, what is this histamine dumping that happens at night? Very much, all the time. Oh my God, since I hit perimenopause, I can't sleep. Yeah, all of these questions. Maybe you're also the person where digestion is not quite where you want it to be. The list of foods you can't tolerate is getting longer by the day. And you're omitting more and more, and you're feeling worse and worse. Now, in this whole scenario, you might have done some researching, deep dives to try to figure out what it is that's going on behind the scenes. And if you've ever been told along the way, if anybody has ever recommended doing something for your adrenals, has talked about adrenal fatigue, has talked to you about your HPA axis dysregulation, or if anybody's even snuck in the words of histamine and mast cells, you're in the right place. Pals, this is all about adrenals and the role they have to play in your body's metabolic work. So I have a question for you. Have you started to notice a decline in your capacity over the course of your days, like in the last number of years? Well, this month inside the Good Food Network, this is about building a foundation. We're not adding more noise. We are simplifying things and just clearing the desk of all of the to-do pieces, and we're making it simple and forward motion. So most people, I think, find themselves, or the majority of people that I support anyway, are in this stage of gathering information. And I don't want to be a jerk, but do you need to keep gathering information? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe gathering information helps you know the why and now gets you to do the thing. But in your gathering information, I have a question for you. I mean, I am the same kind of person. I need the reason why first. But in this gathering of information, have you done the work in applying and doing actionable steps or to-do pieces to address what it is you're researching? Are you just researching and then going, why don't I feel better? Well, what did you change in your days? Did you change how you move through your days? Did you change something? No? That's what we're talking about. I think this common cycle where we start to identify and we really finally feel like somebody's got an answer to explain why we feel the way we do, we start to feel hopeful. And that is a brilliant step, and we need that step. We try a couple of things, and then we start to be inconsistent with it. Or we stop, or we get overwhelmed, or we try 8 things at once. And then our symptoms come back with a vengeance, or so it seems. Well, health changes when we move from knowing and gathering information to practicing consistently and simplifying, actually. So that's what this month inside the Good Food Network is designed to do. It's designed to help you simplify things and to move out of knowing and into practicing at a consistent level. So I have a theme every month inside the Good Food Network. And this month we're continuing on the theme of the adrenals as one of the players and a foundational piece actually to metabolic health. We've been diving deep into metabolism for the entirety of this last calendar year and then into this year as well. It's a broad topic. It's got many, many different pieces. Why metabolism? Metabolism has everything to do with energy. So anything that takes energy of production of some sort to do a human thing is considered a metabolic act. Anything with hormones, metabolism. Blood sugars, metabolism. Mitochondria, energy, totally metabolism. Brain function, metabolism. Mood regulation, metabolism. Coming up with a grocery list, metabolism. Getting through the day and working at a pace that is doable where you can go home and still have enough energy and oomph to play cards with your kids. Totally a metabolic act. How's that going for you? Yeah. So the top struggles that I tend to see, especially when we're talking about the adrenals, because this is our focus for this month, if you are the person who has low, inconsistent energy, it can show up a couple of different ways. In the early stages, you might get the wired and tired at night, where you're like, oh, how come all of a sudden I can solve all the world's problems and I can undertake the courses that I wanted to take and really get through that material once the kids are in bed? Yeah. So the wired and tired and kind of burning hot at night to be able to get things done. You may also feel the low, inconsistent energy where there's kind of this demand for naps in the middle of the day. Mid-morning tells us one story. Mid-afternoon tells us another story. Energy crash after a meal tells us yet another story. In each of these scenarios, the adrenals are involved. So are you the person who feels perhaps where you've lost this capacity over the last handful of years, and maybe there's been an uptake in your capacity over the day once you hit perimenopause? You will get good benefits in joining us in the Good Food Network. Are you the person? Another energetic piece that ties into the adrenals is waking up in the night or poor sleep. Yeah, there's probably a blood sugar regulation issue tied in here. Do you know what causes those blood sugar issues? Your adrenals being your main engine. Your adrenals aren't supposed to be your main engine. And they start to tucker things out. They're just meant to be a backup generator. So if you have troubles with sleep, or if you wake up a lot in the night, or if your symptoms flare up later in the day and into your evening and night, For example, hot flashes keep you awake at night. Hello, your adrenals are asking you for something to change. That's what that signal is. Are you somebody who feels overwhelmed or do you feel on edge? Or people sometimes talk about how you feel a bit more fragile than you used to and they need to walk on eggshells around you. That's adrenals asking for help. I'd tie in their anxiety. Do you get blood sugar dips or cravings or afternoon crashes? Do you plan, I always make the joke, do you plan to have a little bed under your desk where you can catch cat naps where no one will be the wiser because it's at work and who cares? Yeah. You will do well to join us in the Good Food Network because the to-do pieces that we talk about are all geared to helping those systems work better. Especially if you are someone where there's been an increase in your symptoms, whatever the symptoms are, over a course of time, especially if your symptoms got worse in perimenopause, and especially if a stressed state actually triggers your symptoms. Or if I will go so far to, I feel like I'm naming all the people. If you don't sleep well on Tuesday, and that means you're not going to be able to handle anything on Wednesday at work, that is adrenals. You should have enough reserves. And if you don't have enough reserves to get through the next day and you are a mess and your symptoms are even worse, your reserves are nil. We need to rebuild your reserves. So these are often adrenal patterns. Everything I've just mentioned here. And they ripple into metabolism, they ripple into hormones, blood sugar issues. They directly impact and downregulate your thyroid, which is what governs the production of energy. They also severely impact your gut. And when left problematic for too long, now bring in histamine to the picture. Okay, so if that's you, I want you to know that inside the Good Food Network, we're going to be helping you build some of those resources to be consistent. There's a weekly session, and we go into it, and you get 3 pieces shared so that you pick one out of the 3. And I do that because I know some folks have 1 or 2 already. So I make sure that there's enough for everybody to have 1 piece a week to add to their to-do list to work in, to see what they can notice shifting in their own symptoms. So before we get started, I like to kick the month off with a little bit of an idea just to get you to tune in and pay closer attention to the organ that we're going to be focusing on this month. So your adrenals, I want you to think of your adrenals as your stress response system. They are part of that HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenals. Your HPA axis works together as your stress response system. And the adrenals work really hard here. So the adrenals, they regulate a couple of different things. In this stress response, they regulate how much energy you're going to produce. They regulate your blood sugars. They regulate your inflammation. And they also regulate your hormonal rhythm. Single-handedly, they can have their way because your body will always prioritize the stress response before it prioritizes anything else. And the more you have to prioritize the stress response, the more you're stealing ingredients from some of the other things. So if your adrenals and that whole HPA axis are under-supported, everything else feels even harder. So we're not fixing everything this month. We're really, the work, because we're getting at this as a foundational piece, we are strengthening the base. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a mini experience to get started with this month. For those who are on the newsletter, this is a little bit of a taste tester of what it is we do inside the Good Food Network. For those inside the Good Food Network, this is a good place to start this month. I think most of us move through the day constantly doing or thinking or solving. Like, give a think. What did you do today, yesterday? Pick a day. Are you are you a product of Western world capitalism, patriarchy, go, 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 do, more? Yeah? Most of us move through the day continuously doing, thinking, solving, building, taking care of business. Even when we rest, we are often still consuming. Is this you? Do you start scrolling? If you're sitting, are you listening to a podcast? When you are taking a break on the tram, I was on the tram today. Are you watching something on your phone to keep you entertained while you're supposed to be resting before you have to go walk the last 20 minutes to your destination? Okay. Well, your adrenal system also needs moments where nothing is being asked of it. So I want you to give this very simple experiment a try this week. Make space in your day at least once a day, every day for the next week, for a 5 to 10 minute window of nothing. So give this a shot. Give this window of nothing a little bit of time. It doesn't have to be in the list of to-dos. It doesn't have to be on the calendar. In fact, if it's on the calendar, we're undoing what it is we're trying to do. This can happen anywhere. It can happen anytime, whether you're planning it or not. For example, this morning on the train, I pulled out my phone, which was a knee-jerk reaction. And I went, no, I have 14 minutes until the tram arrives. I'm putting my phone away and I'm just going to wait on the platform and watch what's going on around me. I'm not going to engage with content. I'm not going to try to do more research. I'm not going to try to get ahead of my emails. I'm just going to wait for the tram. So that's one of those examples. So here's the idea. If you make space for this 5 to 10 minute window of nothing, we'll call it, the rules are no phones, no inputs, so no podcasts, no music, no pieces in your ears, no problem solving, not coming up with the world's solutions, no figuring things out. You are simply sitting and looking out a window, or you are going for a slow walk. You can notice. That's as much output as you can do. You can watch the sky. I have a boss who used to sit for 4 hours once a week and just stare at a tree. I don't have 4 hours, but go for it. Yeah, could you watch the sky? Could you watch the trees? Could you watch your surroundings? Could you let your mind wander without directing it? That's going to be your invitation this week. Everybody in the Good Food Network, I'd love to hear what you're thinking about this in the group chat, how you approach this and what you think about this. I want you to also, for everybody else, I want to give a little bit of parameters here. This is not meditation. You don't need to clear your mind. You're not trying to do anything right or well. You're giving your system a moment where it doesn't have to perform. Why is this important? Your adrenals respond to perceived demand. And if your brain is always on, your body actually stays in this subtle stress response. So these small pauses will help to signal safety and they will allow your system to downshift. So what is this going to be for you? And once you put it in place, here's what you're going to pay attention to. Notice. It's one of my favorite words to use with my clients. Notice. What are you going to notice? Okay, you're going to observe. You're not evaluating, you're just noticing. Do you feel resistance to doing nothing? Oh, isn't that interesting? Mm. Or does your mind speed up? Or does your mind soften? Do you feel even more slightly settled afterwards? Does it leave you feeling more agitated? Interesting. There's no right outcome. We're just noticing. That's what the invitation is. Now, if you like this kind of experiment, this is the kind of practices that we build into your week. It's not just food. We do food for sure, but we mostly talk about rhythm. We talk about pacing. And we specifically this month are talking about support for your adrenals, inadvertently also helping your nervous system because of its close tie to the stress response. And sometimes the most supportive thing we can do for our health is create space where nothing is required of us, where really we can be a human being and not a human doing. Okay, so that's the piece you can play with this week. Now, if you take that piece and you're like, oh, I really enjoyed that. I'd really like to do more of that. Then you're going to come and join us inside the Good Food Network. And I'm going to give you a little bit of, I put together a slideshow because I think it helps a little bit to visualize a little bit better. So I'm going to take you over. It also helps keep me on track because I have problems with that sometimes. Yes. So inside the Good Food Network this month, right until the last second of April 30th. These are the kinds of things we're going to be doing inside the Good Food Network. So in April, we're talking about the adrenals as a foundation for metabolic health. Everybody has them. They are the little hats sitting on the back in just above your kidneys there. And we do a weekly session every week. So they're done live, but there's a replay that gets posted into the network. So if you can't join us live, you can catch the replay. And I dock them all there for the entire month. So if you spend a good 2 hours on one Saturday towards the end of the month, you can go through all of them. They're all centered on our main topic, and these are the titles that will be cycling through this month. So tomorrow, I've already built it already. We're talking about the adrenals, and they're tied to the thyroid, and what this has to do with metabolic speed. Next week, we'll be doing one on the mitochondria and the role that adrenals play in this energy output. The third week, we're going to be talking about electrolytes. We're going to talk about the hormone called aldosterone and the role that this plays in metabolic health, specifically with kidneys and adrenals, by the way, and why this tends to be off balance in those who have a higher burden of stress. In our fourth week, we're going to address an entire session on those people who are addicted to stress. And most people who are addicted to stress will tell you that they're not, and they will work even harder to convince you they are not. And I'm going to dispel some myths in that session. Our final week, and that will be made available all through the month of May as well. So it'll roll over because it's on such short notice towards the end of the month. But we are talking about recovery and resilience and the difference between the two, what it is that your adrenals actually need, and how to implement those pieces in place. And through the month, with all of this, you get a worksheet. It's a blank worksheet that you get to build yourself. So I give you all the tools for you to make the homework practical so that you can put it in place. Now, every month, based on our theme for the month, we also have a standalone 2-hour class. You can take the class just by itself, or for an extra $5, join the Good Food Network and you will get this class as well. And because we are talking about metabolism and the adrenals, it is imperative that we touch on anxiety. So this class, because anxiety is not just in your head, it is in your physiology. This is going to be a course running on, I think that's happening April 22nd. And of course, the replay is available inside the network. In addition, we have some foods. So inside the network, it's a combination of live sessions that then get posted so you can watch the replay, access to some older material that is of relevance. But we also have a bunch of printables. You got 5 recipes every month. And the 5 recipes this month, they are focused on the adrenals. They are seasonally inspired. They are variations for those who need it. We have one recipe that is not low histamine this month. Those are the black beans. But everybody else, can you please try the Baja baked black beans? Because they're amazing. They are based off of a recipe from a restaurant in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And they are one of my favorite things. Black foods turns out amazing for the adrenals. Now, we also have a sheet pan dinner with some pork and some squash and a bunch of other veg on it as well, and a couple of other recipes as well. I think there's a ginger and cardamom beverage that is so yummy as a little tea kind of thing for this time of year. We also do a weekly food challenge. Every week, we highlight one food that is of importance to focus on. And this week, our food was black foods for the kidneys and for the adrenals. And so we have ideas inside the network where we work in why these are important with, okay, but how do I bring in black rice, actually, is what I did for this week. Black foods, but I focused on black rice because you have black beans in your recipes. So this also is a part of it. Now, there's a little bit of a bonus piece. When you join us, you start to hear me talk about eating seasonally. And I weave it into your solutions. So for anybody through this that they're around for long enough and they're like, oh my gosh, you keep talking about eating seasonally and how important that is, Luca. Okay, I'll get to know what eating seasonally means. We've got a whole module on spring seasonal eating right now. So for the person who wants to dive into that, you would have access to it. And then you get printables and things that you can use to build your own way to move through the month eating seasonally. There's a video explains why eating seasonally is so important. So for those who want it, this is another piece. And of course, there's a whole bundle of spring specific recipes in there. One of those is a fiddlehead omelet and a couple of other things, how to sprout your own seeds, essentially. So lots of really good things. There's so many things available. Last but not least, there's also access to an older class that I had put together a number of years ago. And this one's called the Vitality Adrenals class. And this is the deep dive. There's a deep comprehension of understanding how your adrenals work in the body, how all the moving parts come together, helping you pinpoint what it is that's making your adrenals work extra hard, and then getting into how to feed them, how to look after them, and getting you started on those solutions. So for those who have the capacity and want to go deeper, this is on offer. Most people don't go in because it's too much, and that's a-okay. It's there for those who need it. So I give you a smorgasbord. Now, when you go to a buffet, I have a question for you. Do you eat everything that's under the glass on the buffet table? No. You pick what you want, put it on your plate. So I give you many options so that you can build the experience that you want that is going to serve you so that you can feel like you're getting good value out of joining us in the Good Food Network. So everything is on replay. You have access. You do not have to join us live. You certainly can. They're all on Zoom anyway, and you can come and join us if you want. So you get immediate access into everything we've got in the Good Food Network as soon as you register, and you'll have access to it all month long. And a little reminder, adrenal health is not built in big moments. There is not one supplement or one head of cauliflower that can fix an adrenal issue. It is shaped by the small things that we do every day. That's what we do inside the Good Food Network. So if you're ready to join us, please do. Get out of this guy for a second. Awesome. So if you're ready to join us, I want you to know that we've got a bunch of solutions at the ready, but we're dripping it throughout the month so that you don't have to consume all of it in that first week. So if right now you feel like you're piecing things together on your own, if you're second guessing what to eat, if you're starting things but you find you have a hard time sticking to them, following them through, whether they are supplements or food pieces or lifestyle shifts, if you've been piecing your own program for yourself together from all the different things you find online, or you're going to ChatGPT to try to put something together for you, if you feel like something is off and you're not sure what to do next, what if you could have something to help you let go of some of this? What might it look like? What would it look like for you to have a simple structure to follow? How much time would you be freeing if everything was laid out for you and dripped slowly over the month so you could piecemeal pace yourself through the content? How different would it be for you if you are eating and moving through your day in a way that actually supports your energy, where you start to get capacity coming back online? What if you were to feel more steady? What if you were less reactive? What if your symptoms weren't as big? What's the end result here, pal? Your symptoms start to appear in the rearview mirror. That's what we're aiming for. What if you're actually doing the things that support your health, not just doing the research and putting together a dream list of what you will when you finally get around to doing a thing? Yeah, it's not about perfect, it's not overnight, but these are about doing those steady, noticeable shifts, paying attention, and then building capacity over time. If this feels like it would be supportive, you are very welcome to join us inside the Good Food Network. The cost for it is $40 a month. If you're on the newsletter, you get a deal. I have a loyalty rate, so use the link in your email. That'll give you $5 off every month. I also have I forget which one's called what, the insider rate or the loyalty rate. I have one anyway for clients where you get $10 off a month. So if you're a former client, send me an email and I will send you the link directly. Yeah, everything is included. The nice thing is you have a 7-day full refund guarantee. If you come in for the first week and you're like, it's not what I thought it would be, you have 7 days to let me know and I'll reimburse you. I will even absorb the $4 I lose when you join the Good Food Network. That's right. Many other people are making money off this. Yeah. So you can come in, you can try it on for size, you can see how it feels in your body. You can see how this is going to impact your routine. You start to pay attention to see what you notice. And know that we start fresh each month. This is a really supportive theme to begin with if you are new to us. If you've been thinking about working one-on-one with me, this is a brilliant place to start. In fact, some of this material then builds into content I have for clients. So you're getting the early bird version of some of this content. Yeah, so you're ahead of the curve. If you have any questions, wherever you're watching this video, I'm also going to put a link to book in for a discovery call with me. If you want to talk to someone about it first, hit me up. Let's have a conversation to figure out if this is the right fit for you or not. In the meantime, I hope there's a delicious cup of something yummy in your near future. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to crossing paths with you down the road, perhaps inside the Good Food Network. Salut, à bientôt.